through the Friday night movies that it's easier for people to participate on Friday night than take a whole Saturday for that. So we decided to move the book club to Friday night. So as soon as we pick one, the day we decided for reflections is going to be October 16th, Friday, October 16th. So we have almost 2 months to read, but should be enough because I don't think any of them is really big. Okay, next announcement. We got 3 today. So Wednesday, not this Wednesday, next Wednesday, September 2nd, we're gonna have a special talk by Alírio de Cerqueira Filho, and it's gonna be for us Brazilians, the role of Spiritists living outside of Brazil. For Canadians, it's the same idea. It's the role of a Spiritist in Canada. So, like, what are we doing here? What are our responsibilities as Spiritists in a different country? For you in the same country, in your country. But still, we still have responsibilities, right? So it covers everything. And the last one, we don't have a picture for it. We have a little list of attendance at the entrance. If you have the time, if you can, we would really appreciate it if you sign the attendance sheet. And you can either leave an impression of how you're feeling leaving the center today, or you don't have to. Totally up to you. Okay? Everything is optional. Free will. We're studying that on Wednesday, Spirit's book. Okay, so we're gonna do our harmonization reading, then our prayer, and we'll get started. So I picked text number 4 from The Way, the Truth, and the Life, and it's called Work. But Jesus answered them, "My Father is working even now, and I also work." In the Gospel of John, chapter 5, verse 17. Everywhere we look, we see unhappy, complaining people. Almost all of them are actually asking for help. Very few love the task they have been given. Most people complain about their job. Those who clean the streets want to be business persons. Those who work in the country would prefer to live in the city. The problem, however, is not the job, but the understanding of the opportunity. Usually, complaints in this regard are the product of an unconscious laziness. It is the innate desire to hold on to what is useless and ruinous from failures in the obscure past. But Jesus came to save us from dying in error. He brought us the blessing of work, which is the unceasing activity of life, so that we may know how to honor our own endeavor. Jesus referred to the Father, who never stops working on his eternal endeavor of love and wisdom, and to his own task, which was full of imperishable dedication to humankind. So, when you feel tired, remember that Jesus is working. We started our humble undertaking only yesterday, but the Master has been working for us for how long? So let us close our eyes, take a deep breath. And let us allow ourselves to be here in body and mind. Our Father, of eternal love and mercy, Master Jesus, our spiritual guides, our guardian angels, we thank you deeply for being here today. We thank you for all the opportunities, even the ones we wasted. We thank you that we were granted those opportunities. And we thank you for all the future opportunities we are still going to be granted. We thank our spiritual friends, our guardian angels, for all their help, for all the inspiration and intuition they try constantly to impart on us. And we ask that we may open our ears and we may open our eyes to the good advice of these benevolent spirits who love us and want nothing but good things for us. May today's meeting be full of reflections, and may it help us feel consoled, feel blessed by all the gifts God gives us. So all right. So in the series of the chakras, today is chakra number 6. Felipe was even asking me, he was like, have we finished the chakras? I'm like, no. Today is number 6 and we still have number 7. So we're going to go through the quick recap. And the text, of course, today was work. And I'm talking about intuition and inspiration, not by chance. So how have I been working towards my spiritual evolution? I think all of us are working in our own way. Somehow, we are all working towards our own evolution, right? Yeah? Fair to say? We're trying? Okay, so today we're gonna talk a little bit about working. There are some jargons in English that don't really apply, but how to work better, not smarter or harder, but better. Harder in the sense of persistence, not level of difficulty. So Jesus said, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And last time we talked about the 5th chakra, the throat chakra. Do you guys remember what it is about? What does this 4 center influences? What's the function of the 5th chakra? I'm asking too much. Yeah. Knowledge, right? And the virtue is the understanding or the comprehension of the truth. So the 5th chakra, I'm going to use the picture to help us. So the first 3 chakras from the bottom, they are more connected to physiology, to the material world. The heart chakra is the connection, and the 3 top chakras, starting with the throat, are more connected to our spirituality. So the 5th chakra is the chakra of knowledge, communication. That's why the throat, right? So, but it's not just about acquiring knowledge as a hard drive. It's about having a .exe app there, right? It's not just storing information. It's using that. So, hence the comprehension of the truth. So far, so good?
So far, so good.
Now, the 6th chakra, which is the brow or the 3rd eye, it has both names. And there's other names too, Aina, depending on what you're going with. Depending if it's like yoga, or they will have different names. So again, is anybody here seeing this for the first time? First time? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
Okay. So the word chakra in Sanskrit means circle. And you can see the second picture over there that we have some spirals. So chakras are centers of force. That's how André Luiz, Manuel Filomeno de Miranda called them. Bezerra de Menezes, they call them force centers. But they're talking about the chakras. They even mention the 7 main force centers. But it's chakras. So it means circle, and they are vortices, like a vortex of energy, and they move in contraction and expansion. So think of that like a coil that contracts and expands as it receives energy and as it gives energy. So always should be always in movement. Okay? So each one of them is connected to a certain part of our body. Not physically, but spiritually. Okay? So we have the root chakra that is in the base of our spine, and it's I have what is the function of each one. The sacral is the second, and we count them from the bottom to the top. So it's right below the belly button, okay? And it's responsible for mostly reproductive organs. And the function is pleasure. We're going to see it. The solar chakra, it's like in the stomach area, and the function is power. Heart chakra, of course, in the heart plexus, and it is the connection between the physiological and the spiritual. The 5th chakra is the throat, I just mentioned. It's for knowledge. The brow chakra that we're going to see today, the function is inspiration and intuition. And people talk a lot about, you have to open your third eye. You have to open your brow chakra. People talk about this a lot, to open your intuition, to open yourself for intuition and inspiration. And there's the crown chakra on the top of our head, which is the chakra of transcendence, of what goes beyond the material, beyond the personal, transpersonal. So far, so good?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Perfect. And like some places where we can see that is, for example, acupuncture. That's where acupuncture works in our chakras. Because we have the 7 main chakras, but we have hundreds of other small ones that are called nadis. And we have sort of like, think of blood vessels, like teeny tiny blood vessels. All of these nadis are connected by vessels of energy to the 7 main chakras. So when we're doing acupuncture or some specific yoga breathing exercises, or even homeopathy, like they all work with our subtle body, with our purse spirit. And the idea is to stimulate these 4 centers. Okay? Yeah? Reiki is the same idea, right? To balance the energy of our chakras. That's what Reiki does. And I didn't know, they now have Reiki sessions in SUS. It's the public health system in Brazil, which is awesome. And they call it integrative medicine. So again, these are all valid treatments, but they don't replace going to a regular doctor. So they can help, but let's remember that traditional medicine is still necessary and it has evolved so much. So let's not ignore it. This complement. Okay. So sorry, it just went back. And our chakras, like I said, they are energetically connected to some of our organs, but energetically, because they actually are located in our purse spirit. So it's the connection between the spirit and the body. Okay? Yeah?
The
Sorry, I'm
chakras-
going faster because it's a recap.
The
Yeah.
chakras are the perispirit.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So for us to understand better our perispiritic body and our physical body, André Luiz talks a lot about this, a lot in all his books. So anybody who reads André Luiz, if you pay attention, you will see that his books talk a lot about the force centers. Because again, he is a doctor. So he's interested in understanding how all of that functions, physical world versus the spiritual world. So he's always comparing. Okay? All right, so again, with the chakras, now we're going to see what are named hypoactivity. The function is in the middle, so what each one is for. And then we have, because remember I said they are supposed to be expanding and contracting as they receive energy. So the function of the chakra is when the chakra is balanced. But very often our chakras are unbalanced. And it can be a hypoactivity. Hypo means under, less than. Or it can be a hyperactivity. That means too much. So either that chakra is not receiving enough energy, so it's hypoactive, or it's receiving too much, and it's hyperactive. Does that make sense? So far, so good? Okay. So today we're going to see the 6 chakras. So I'm going to concentrate on it, or we'll never be able to finish. Later, I'm going to, well, not today, of course, but later I'm going to add, when I do the 7th chakra, I'm going to add the title for all the other chakras, if anybody's interested to see each specific chakra. But today we're going to focus on the 6th chakra. So, like I mentioned, it's responsible for inspiration and intuition. And when we don't get enough energy, like when we block it for lack of the energy that balances the chakra, we have skepticism. Right? Does everybody know what is a skepticism? When you don't believe?
So can we perhaps, connect or link the 6th chakra, inspiration, intuition, with faith?
Absolutely. All of them have.
Because the way I look at it, when I look at your title for the talk today, it sprang to mind 3 things: knowledge. We should transform knowledge into action. Faith, we should transform faith into service, and love, transform love into charity.
Yeah. All of these energies, in this case, they are all connected to faith. And you will understand better as we go.
Okay.
So like this is just a recap of the general, just
Right.
so that everybody can like catch up to what we're going to talk about.
Through. Yes.
Okay. And when we have too much, when we hyperstimulate the 6th chakra too much, we end up with mysticism. And here we are not talking about Catholic mysticism or anything like this. We're talking about mysticism in the sense of a gullible person who would believe anything. Right? We're talking about a person who goes to mass in the morning, tarot reading in the afternoon, and to a lady who does whatever service, like so you get the love of your life in the evening. Put the name of your loved one in the mouth of a frog or whatever. This is what we're talking about in terms of mysticism. Somebody who will believe in anything, superstitions, anything. Right? No creo en brujas, pero que las hay, las hay. Okay, so here we were talking about the function of the chakra, what the feeling that happens when it's understimulated and what happens when it's overstimulated. In the next one, we are going to see, let's see whether I click in the right place. In the next one, we are gonna see how these are connected to virtues, which is our main topic, of course. So the chakras, the idea to talk about the chakras is exactly to make that connection, because sometimes we think that this is the chakras, oh, this is mysticism, like I don't believe it, but it isn't. There is a connection to our physical body and to virtues as well, because the virtues are exactly how we're gonna balance that chakra. Okay, so we have again the name of the chakra that we've seen in all the other slides, the function that we just saw, and then we have the egoic feeling. So for example, for the sixth chakra, it's the brow chakra, and the function is inspiration and intuition, and the egoic feeling is lack of discernment. And the essential feeling is discernment and disciplined work, hence the title and the text. Okay, disciplined work. And we're going to understand how, because you're like, I understand the English, but how are they actually connected? So let's see how they are connected. First of all, like I mentioned, from the fifth chakra up, it's more spiritual, and the fifth chakra is the chakra of knowledge. So when we talk about discernment, I think it goes hand in hand with knowledge. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to agree with me if you don't want to. So I'm proposing a few questions. These questions are very personal. So these ones, I just want you to think about. We're not going to share. Okay? Because they're very personal. So the title, how have I been working towards my spiritual evolution? So let's try and think back with the idea of discernment, of disciplined work, or with lack of discernment.
Well, I already answered that 10 minutes ago. My life is an
From your
open
point
book.
of view. But since it's a personal, am I able to recognize an intuition or an inspiration? So am I able to differentiate when it's my own thoughts or feelings from when I'm being guided or it's a suggestion either for good or for bad? That's what I'm asking here. Okay. When I have an inspiration, so let's say we are able, maybe not all the time, but sometimes. So when I have an inspiration, or I think I have one, what is my first reaction? Believe immediately, deny immediately, or pause and reflect. So there is no right answer here, okay? Because these answers, this will all depend on how developed our sixth chakra is. So it is going to be different for everybody. So saying believe immediately is not necessarily wrong, depending on how developed your sixth chakra is. So there's no right or wrong answer. That's why I said it's very personal. It's each individual case. So how do I, Renata, react? Do I believe? Do I deny? Am I in doubt? Do I pause and think? So these questions will help us down the road. So we're gonna see more details here. Again, sixth chakra is the brow or the third eye and responsible for inspiration and intuition. And as we saw before, hypoactivity is skepticism and hyperactivity, mysticism. Okay, and again, mysticism here is the idea of somebody who is gullible, who believes anything, who will go in 5 different fortune tellers and believe all of them and try to make the things they heard about happen so that the fortune teller can be right. Because in a way, again, we go back to the third chakra, the chakra of power. right? We want to control things. And if somebody tells me what's going to happen ahead of time, if I want to control that, I tend to try and make it happen because I feel in control. So that's the idea, right? So mysticism, skepticism. And again, we're not talking about, there's a lot of stuff online about professional skepticism and all that kind of stuff. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about philosophical skepticism. I believe in nothing. If I can't touch it, if it can't be measured by a physical instrument, it doesn't exist. I refuse to believe anything else. Even if logic tells me, if my emotional intelligence tells me, I refuse to listen. That's the kind of skepticism we're talking about. So we're going to go through the egoic feelings and the essential feelings. And here I actually made a summary of all of them. Because as I've said in the previous talks, they are all building on each other. So the virtue or the egoic feeling and essential feeling that we need to balance each chakra or the function of each chakra interacts with the function of the next and the next and the next. So it's like buildable. And before in the other talks, I just put them as a list here, but I think it's not for visual people, that's not very effective. So let's do this for visual people. So when we talk about egoic feeling, in terms of the first chakra, is the chakra of security, of feeling safe. If you think Maslow pyramid, it's having food, having water, having shelter, the bare minimum to survive, right? So it's the feeling of security. So the egoic feeling that will unbalance this chakra is pride and rebellion. So my pride will unbalance my security chakra. And the essential feeling or the virtue that is going to balance is humility and meekness. What do humility, meekness, and love make? The apprentice feeling. Right? If I'm open to learn. Then for the second chakra, it's the chakra of pleasure. And the egoic feeling that will make it unbalanced is ungratefulness, and the virtue is gratitude. So feeling thankful for what we have, for all the opportunities we have. The third chakra, the chakra of power. So the egoic feeling that will make it unbalanced is denial or refusal to accept the power that I don't have. I don't want to accept that I don't have power to do something, to control a situation, to make other people act in a way that I want. Not like any of us here do that.
Of course not.
And the virtue that balances that chakra is acceptance. Accepting the power that we have. What's the power that we have?
Power of love.
The power over our own actions.
Exactly. We have the power to understand that we don't have power to change other people. We don't have the power to change the weather when it snows too much or when it's too hot and we think, oh, where's the snow now? It's a 2 second yeah. It's a 2 second pause.
It's going already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like where's the snow? No. Just kidding. Like the text says about work that people complain. So if it's cold, it's too cold. If it's hot, it's too hot. So acceptance is the virtue that is going to balance that chakra. So it's not just accept the power that we don't have, but accept the power we have, because we have the power of our own actions and choices. We have the power to change ourselves. And then comes the question again, how have we been working? Have we been exercising the power that we have? Then the fourth chakra, the heart chakra. So egoic feelings that make it unbalanced are indifference and cruelty because they go completely against love. And the virtue is compassion because compassion includes myself and others. For the fifth chakra, the chakra of knowledge, the egoic feeling that makes it unbalanced is incomprehension or lack of understanding. And the virtue that balances it is comprehension of the truth. And that's why we had that slide that said, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. And again, Jesus didn't say that knowing the truth will set us free. He said the truth will set us free. So working in accordance with the divine laws will set us free. So we need to know and understand them, and then practicing them will set us free. And finally, for today, the sixth chakra. So lack of discernment is the egoic feeling, and the essential feeling or the virtue that is going to help us balance the chakra is discernment. Disciplined work. So far, so good? So, after this summary, and again, they build on each other. Now, the function of the sixth chakra. Inspiration and intuition, like we said. And in order to develop this chakra, it's fundamental that we try to balance as best as we can the other 5 chakras below, right? Because this is less connected to the physical. So balancing the other 5 chakras below will absolutely help. Because we need, mainly the 5th chakra, because we need the knowledge of the truth if we want to have discernment. Okay, because this is basically about making good choices. And to make a good choice, I need to know if I am in accordance with the divine laws or not. So does it make sense why discernment now? So inspiration and intuition are fundamental spiritual activities for the balance of the being. It's an instrument that allows us to develop the view and profound understanding of our human thoughts and actions. So, as we become less and less materialistic and we start to really accept in our hearts, because sometimes we say we believe, but it doesn't reach our heart, that we don't die. The body dies, but we continue, we stay. So as we become aware of this undeniable truth, we also start learning that there are so many loving spirits on the spiritual side who are trying to help us, who are trying to guide us. And developing this chakra, like balancing this chakra to help open our 3rd chakra, it's an invaluable tool for us to be able to follow this intuition, to be able to follow these inspirations that we get from the other side. So far, so good?
May I say?
Everybody alive?
May I say? Yeah, no, good, very good. That's fun.
Still here.
Yeah.
In body and mind, or just body?
Hopefully.
Perhaps intuition also can be interpreted as spiritual connection with our God of angels
100%.
and masters, spiritual
100%.
masters.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
And instead of perhaps saying that I believe immediately. I would say respect it immediately, rather than believe, because for the most part, as life goes by, we realize if we don't listen to our intuition or inspirations, we may drop the ball at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, but again, it's an individual journey, right? It comes differently for everybody, because
Right.
everybody's unique. Nobody has 100% the same experiences. So for some people will come in, you can choose to use the word respect. Everybody's different, right? So everybody's journey will be different. So the idea here is just to give a general guidance, but how each person is going to work through this, it's individual. The universal laws don't change, but we change. Hopefully for the better as we follow them better and closer. And these are just some tools to help us understand how to do that. Because it's not that we don't want to, but sometimes we get stuck in the how, but how do I do it? So this helps us with the how, hopefully. And it deepens the connection with God and the feeling of belonging in the universe. This feeling of belonging in the universe is so powerful, so powerful. Feeling like we're children of God, that we belong, that we were created as a gift to the universe. That helps, remember, with the chakra of security down there, with the gratitude, with the accept, power, and acceptance. It helps with all the other chakras. The feeling of belonging and being God's child. Unconditionally loved by God and by many other spirits that we may not see right now, but they're definitely in the making of, behind the curtains, helping us, right? They helped us with planning our reincarnation, and they're still helping us. And this is why developing, balancing the sixth chakra is so important. So this was Gemini's best representation of mysticism in the sense that I asked Gemini to do.
Love it.
So mishmash of everything possible. And here we're gonna talk about the hyperactive, right? The mysticism. So when one person believes to be guided by a superior spiritual being, or plural, superior spiritual beings who direct their lives 24/7, like babysitters for irresponsible children. And this sounds a bit harsh. But again, let's use a little bit of logic. From the books that we've read, from what we've seen of Spiritism so far, does it seem reasonable to us that a superior spirit or even a benevolent spirit is going to be sitting beside a fortune teller to tell us that we're going to travel to Europe next year? Or would they have more important things to do?
Yes.
They have
Second option.
important things to do.
B, option B. So again, it just goes against common sense, right? To have this belief that, I don't need to choose, the guides, whatever name we want to call, the cards, the guides, the spirits will guide me. Like, I'm blessed. My channel is open. They're gonna do it for me. They're gonna tell me what to do, right? That's what happened in antiquity with the oracles, right? So they went to the oracle. Do we go? Oh, yeah, you took it out of my mouth, right? Do we start a war or not? Are we gonna win the war if we start? So this idea of, it's even a feeling of what's the word? When we feel we're better and more important than everybody else.
Entitlement?
Yeah, entitlement. Yeah,
Arrogance.
that too.
Presumption.
All of those. I was looking for another one.
Something
Starts with a P.
Pride.
That is involved absolutely.
Prepotence. Yeah.
No.
Presumption?
Yeah, I will remember.
Is it predestined or something like that?
No. I will remember. It's an egoic feeling, privilege.
Privilege. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a mystical person in this sense of the word that believes everything and goes to cards and everything to make big decisions, business decisions, all of that. In a way, it's this feeling of privilege. Like I'm privileged. The spirits are going to tell you what to do.
Being
Right?
special.
Yeah, I'm super special. Like they take care of me, no questions asked. And again, even if it were half true, why am I passing on my responsibility to someone else? So this is why the author says this is from this book, Energia dos Chakras e Autocura, Chakra Energy and Self-Cure. That's why the author says babysitters for irresponsible children, because it's people who want others to decide for them. They are relinquishing their responsibility of making their own choices. So that's another thing. Some believe they have received grand spiritual missions, inspired to carry them out through cosmic powers. Many, due to excessive credulity, abdicate their own spiritual choices to live in a mystical way, which opens the door for obsession, especially by fascination. Because again, if I believe everything, if I'm open to everything, and logic tells me that there isn't a big group of superior spirits carrying me in their arms 24/7 and making my decisions for me, is it reasonable to think that another spirit who sees I'm so open to believing anything and doesn't have necessarily good intentions might approach me? I find it reasonable. And then they talk. The author talks about obsession, especially fascination. Do you guys know what is fascination? Do you know the 3 different levels of obsession?
Nope.
Okay. So there are 3 basic levels of obsession. So there's simple obsession. I'm sure there's more, but 3 basic ones. Let's keep it simple. So simple obsession is like when we suffer influence, bad influence, or it wouldn't be obsession, it would be inspiration or intuition. So when we suffer bad influence, but through discernment, when we want to, we are able to discern and reject what is good and what is not in accordance with the divine law. Okay, so that's simple obsession. Like those intrusive thoughts that you're like, oh, wait, this is not me. I wouldn't want to do something like this in general. So that's a simple obsession. So a spirit trying to influence us. The second level is fascination. So it's an illusion generated by a spirit. So it's to the point where the victim of the obsession, there's no complete victim because the person opened the door, but let's call them victim of the obsession. They're blind to reason because usually that spirit makes them feel so important, so grand, so amazing. And they start believing that they're receiving messages from sublime spirits, like higher than Jesus. And anything that you say otherwise is immediately rejected. So again, that feeling of privilege. And then there's subjugation. The third level in this simple division would be subjugation when the person, the incarnated person needs to fight really hard to get their own willpower back because, as the word says, they're subjugated. It's not impossible to get out of it. Usually you need help, but it's a level where you pretty much give yourself up to the influence of another or other spirits. Do you have anything to
Yeah,
add?
the one thing on the simple and
Yeah.
all others, the fact that it's not one influence, but it's the recurrence
Mm.
of that influence that would eventually establish a spiritual obsession.
Okay, thank you.
Just curious, does this depend, going back to your early slide,
Mm.
when you're asking the questions about believing or denying or pausing and reflecting, does this not also depend on your particular level of development in terms of how it will apply, or even the guidance and how that plays itself out inspirationally or potentially obsessively and fascinating?
Yes, our level can help if it's a higher level. However, what we need to remember is that regardless of our level of evolution, we all have the divine laws in our consciences.
Mhm.
So again, if I stop, pause, reflect, and try to discern, even somebody who is not a spiritist, who doesn't have the knowledge of all this terminology of divine law, universal law, you think, oh, this person is absolutely at the mercy of obsession. No, because we all have the divine laws in our conscience. So if we stop to pause and reflect and really think, is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? So question 919A, would I like to receive my own actions? How would I feel if someone else did that to me? That kind of stuff. So I don't know if it answers your question. So depending on your level, it will help you recognize it faster, but it's not that there are some people who absolutely cannot, because we do have the divine laws in our conscience. It might take a longer road. It will probably be more work and willpower, but anybody can identify if they're willing, because the divine laws is in our conscience.
And I guess just to blossom that out, if I'm hearing you correctly, because you had mentioned this idea of, for example, Christian mysticism and mystical traditions of other esoteric Sufis in Islam and the
Oh,
like.
there's so many, yeah.
But nevertheless, this word has different meanings in those different contexts and does not play itself out the same way. With these individuals being extremely connected, yet not open and continuously at the mercy of so much of the, how should I put it, the over belief that can come from just committing to everything, yet they are guided consistently and in a much more harmonious and constructive fashion. So it seems that, going back to your earlier slide, people who develop themselves can find themselves in a state of almost perpetual guidance where they're still completely in control of their own actions, yet nevertheless completely connected.
Yes, this is why I mentioned in the picture, we're not talking about those people. We're talking about the people who will go for anything because of moral laziness. We're not talking about a belief. We're talking about a lack of true belief that leads you to believe in anything, that you will buy anything, like a gullible person who will accept anything because they don't want to discern. They don't want to make their own decisions. They don't want to take power over their own decisions. So that's what we're talking about. Not specific belief like Catholic mysticism, Islamic mysticism. There's all those. I read all about those, but that's not what we're talking about here specifically.
And it comes.
I think we need to bring Kardec to this as well, because the medium book, he talks about the types of spiritists. And one type of spiritist is all that are excited. And there's no rationalize. We just believe in everything that is coming towards us. And that causes more damage, not only to the person, but to the spiritist movement as well. because then it doesn't get all the things that you don't rationalize or you don't understand what does that really mean can really impact us to go in a different direction.
Mhm.
So Kardec already cautioned this type of spiritist
Yeah.
that is excited and believes in everything.
Okay. No, that's helpful. So I guess building on what you're saying, Lucy, and that's a great point. This is irrational mysticism that you're talking
Exactly.
about. Rational
Thank you.
mysticism is not this.
No,
Okay.
it's not.
Yeah, from what I understood from the beginning, Renata said, the word mysticism here is being defined according to our talking here. I mean, there are different
Yeah.
interpretations up there, but
Yeah, even in a dictionary, there are different
exactly,
meanings.
exactly, this is what I.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. It's the, you know,
Irrational.
irrational. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Luis. All right. And then when we go to skepticism, when it's hypoactive, when the chakra is understimulated, there's a disdain for intuitions and inspirations. They are automatically seen as bogus. So in a way, it's the same thing. It's the irrational disbelief. Irrational belief, mysticism, irrational disbelief would be hypoactive because you don't believe your own self. You don't believe that what you're feeling.
Mhm.
They don't accept themselves as spiritual beings, and beings here is capital B because we're talking about our essence, spirits. Or the existence of discarnate beings in another sphere of life due to a materialistic view. So it's again, if I can't see, can't touch, a machine can't measure, I don't care what logic or other people's experience say. They don't admit the possibility of obtaining inner resources from the essential being. So again, accessing those divine laws in our conscience. Like, again, to them, even this basic thing is mysticism in the sense of it's irrational, like not proven, not measured. This systematic denial will block the sixth chakra and all superior spiritual assistance originating from inspiration and intuition. Now, for example, if the systematic denial will block the sixth chakra from all superior spiritual assistance, so it will block assistance. Can skeptics still be victims of obsession?
Yes, they can.
Well, but if it's blocked,
Well, the obsessors, they would take advantage of this weakness.
exactly.
superior-
Why? Yeah.
Maybe.
Why does it block superior spirits? Because they respect the divine laws, including free will.
Right.
Obsessors.
Don't.
Okay, so it's not because a person is skeptic that they can't fall victim of obsession, because obsessor spirits are not making a big effort to fall in line with the divine laws, right? All right, so I found this and I thought it was awesome. I giggled a little this morning, so I brought it to you. So National Society of Skeptics. I don't believe we've met. I don't believe you don't believe we've met. Yeah. Okay, so when this chakra is balanced, which is what we want, we become aware of the energetic influxes that come from the essential being and invite us to develop our spirituality in order to receive subtle orientations from our spiritual mentors. And subtle, here's the magic word, just a suggestion. Spiritual mentors, guardian angels, and protector spirits in the form of inspiration and intuition. We tend to value thought in general as a way to manifest our spirituality and religiousness through a profound connection with the essential being that we are and with God. So we're, again, that feeling of belonging in the universe, that feeling of being God's child. As we open our brow chakra, that's what we're going to feel. Okay? If it's balanced. How do we balance and develop the sixth chakra? With discernment and disciplined work. Because, again, it's not one time that I discern and can make the right decision that I'm done. It's constant exercise. So only through disciplined, constant, patient work will we be able to discern, to reflect on what is true and what is false when receiving inspiration or intuition. When the sixth chakra is developed, so there's the opening and there's development. So when the sixth chakra is developed, so beyond just open, beyond just balanced, the person combines cognitive and emotional intelligence, right? We feel secure enough to believe our emotions as well. And transcends skepticism and mysticism because they put all extrasensorial perception through the lens of reason and emotion, discarding everything that goes against common sense. That is, which is not in harmony with the divine laws that is misspelled. Sorry. Does that make sense? So as it becomes more developed, we are able to combine emotional and cognitive. So we can reason over our emotions. It's both. It's not just reason. It's not just emotion. It's the balance. It's being able to reason through our emotions.
Would you say that it's the development of intellectual and moral
Mm-hmm.
aspects?
Yeah. Absolutely. In other words,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
in Portuguese we say intelecto moral. Right. Okay. And how do we get there?
Practicing.
Practice.
I'm gonna ask this for the millionth time. Is any virtue passive?
No.
No.
Absolutely not. This one, like discernment, is an extremely active virtue.
We need to transform knowledge into actions.
Yes, that's
Faith
what will
into-
take. Yeah,
faith
that's what
into
will take.
service,
That's what will take us
and
there.
love into charity.
So it starts with daily reflections, daily exercise of reflection. And again, here one of our best friends is question 919, and where A 919A, where Saint Augustine give us like a safe guide. I can almost call it a cake recipe, which is one of the very few we get, right? He's very specific there. Meditation. One of the best ways to balance the sixth chakra is meditation. Actually, one of the best ways to balance all the chakras is meditation, including the sixth and seventh one. Okay?
Okay, may I add about the meditation?
Sure.
Maybe a little bit intangible for some, but as the Buddhists say, one of the effective ways of meditation is, focusing on our breathing
There are so
and
many
counting.
types.
That's one of them. Okay.
Yeah.
That's could be one
Mhm.
way.
Yeah, and if anybody like me, like if you tell me clear your mind, I immediately think about 2,000 things at the same time. So I'm not evolved enough to do that kind of Eastern meditation. So for me, what works is guided meditation, and we can find so many. You can find from 5, I think there's up to 2-minute meditations, up to like an hour or so. There are apps, several apps for meditation. You can find them on YouTube, or if you find one that you like and it's written down, you can record your own voice on your phone and you guide yourself with your own voice later. So there are a lot of options any time length we want.
There's also for those who like spirit's guidance for meditation. There's some from Renata Genesini,
Awesome, perfect.
guided by like devout, of
Mhm.
course.
Yep.
Devout frequency. It's good.
Are these recorded or written?
They are recorded on YouTube. You should put like
YouTube, perfect,
meditation Renata Genesini. It's gonna show up some options.
awesome.
Some of them are long, some others are not that long. So
Yeah, like we,
yeah.
everybody can do it, everybody can get started. And it's good for everything. And it's also important to remember in 5 seconds that every imbalance in our chakras will reflect in our bodies. Okay? Just as much as balanced chakras will also bring us health. So unbalanced chakras can make us, we make ourselves sick through imbalance in the chakras, and we can also generate health for ourselves by balancing our chakras. So let's not forget that. And these were the sources. Woo, we made it. And the kids didn't come
Congrats.
running.
Yeah.
Congrats.
We made it before Sonia released the kids. So these are the books. Like this one goes in depth, like a lot of depth in each chakra. So it's great.
Thank you, Renata.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you all for listening. That was long-winded. So we're gonna do our final prayer and go for the classes. Closing our eyes, taking a deep breath. We once again thank you, Father. We thank Jesus. And today we thank especially our guardian angels and all the benevolent spirits who are on this journey with us, trying their best to support and guide us from the spiritual world. Thank you for being there for us. Please, Lord, help us listen, help us see, and help us believe in all the benefits that we will have once we start following the divine laws to the best of our abilities. And we ask for strength because the journey is long. We ask that every time we start to tire, we be reminded of Jesus' invitation to take his hand and follow his guidance. For his meek and humble in heart. May we also understand we are apprentices. May we also be humble and meek to learn how to love each other. May we have a blessed week full of reflections. So be it.
So be it.
Just let everybody know, next Sunday
Oh, yes.
and the next 2 Sundays, we won't have public activities. So next Sunday will be an exception, and the following Sunday is Labor